Welcome to another episode out from the Horrorbox. I'm your fearful host, Dom, and in this episode we take a look at the 2020 horror comedy mystery film directed by Steve Brill, co-written by Tim Herlihy and Adam Sandler, Hubie Halloween. Good-natured but eccentric community volunteer Hubie Dubois finds himself at the center of a real murder case on Halloween night. Despite his devotion to his hometown of Salem, Massachusetts, and its legendary Halloween celebration, Hubie is a figure of mockery for kids and adults alike. So, let's throw on our costumes and get ready to trick-or-treat safely. In July 2019, Netflix officially announced Hubie Halloween as the next project in Adam Sandler's lucrative multi-picture deal with the streaming giant. The film was set to be a veritable reunion of the Happy Madison Productions family, with a sprawling ensemble cast that included frequent Sandler collaborators such as Kevin James, Julie Bowen, Maya Rudolph, Steve Buscemi, Rob Schneider, Tim Meadows, Colin Quinn, Blake Clark, and Shaquille O'Neal. The cast was further bolstered by a mix of veteran actors and comedic talents including Ray Liotta, Michael Chiklis, Kenan Thompson, and a host of others including Peyton List, China Ann McClain, and Stranger Things star Noah Schnapp. The project was to be directed by longtime Sandler collaborator Steve Brill, from a screenplay co-written by Adam Sandler himself and his frequent writing partner, Tim Herlihy. The production was marked by a poignant and tragic turn when Cameron Boyce, a young actor who had starred alongside Sandler in the Grown Ups films, was set to appear in Hubie Halloween. Tragically passed away in July 2019 from complications related to epilepsy, just days before principal photography was scheduled to begin. In a heartfelt recasting decision, Boyce's close friend and former Jesse co-star, Karan Brar, was brought on to take over the role. The finished film is dedicated to memory of Cameron Boyce. Principal photography for Hubie Halloween commenced in July 2019, with the production extensively utilizing authentic locations throughout Massachusetts to capture the perfect autumnal New England atmosphere. Filming took place in and around numerous towns, including the historically rich Salem, famous for its own Halloween-centric tourism, as well as Linfield, Hamilton, Marblehead, Danvers, Tewksbury, and other parts of the state. The shoot proceeded through the late summer, successful wrapping up in early September 2019, just in time for the real-life fall season the film was supposed to invoke.
Well, hello, my ghouls and goblins. I know you've got your costumes picked out for the frightful festivities. And I hope you all get more treats than tricks.
Halloween's upon us!
Is he a good guy?
Hubie Dubois is the nicest guy in this town.
Here's some Happy Halloween word churches. You can pass it out to the kids.
Thank you so much.
As a trained volunteer, I know what it's like when the spooky fun gets out of hand. Officer D, the supermarket's selling expired bacon. Janet at the library has not been herself lately. I heard a voice in the sewer.
I'm sorry, I didn't recognize him.
It's pretty impressive how long he's been a loser.
Oh, messing with Hubie Dubois.
Murder!
A Salem tradition.
You gotta expect a scare here or there.
There's something off in this town.
Mr. Lambert? Oh. Mr. Lambert? Is that you? Oh no.
Salem PD?
Yes, officer, this is Hubie Dubois.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look good
Salem needs me.
when you're alone.
What are you gonna do, Mr. Dubois?
What I do every October 31st. Make sure every citizen is protected.
Are uneven.
No one in Salem is safe tonight.
So would you lose your thermos?
Oh, that'll never happen.
Anyway.
We got an unsolved mystery here.
Oh.
I know who did this.
Not now, Hubie.
Mayor.
I suggest we cancel Halloween immediately.
We ain't canceling a damn thing.
This is some Dateline NBC shit.
People are strange. People are strange. People are strange.
You're the best person I know. That's why you're a hero.
What the heck? Help me! Not cool.
Hello?
Marino! Help me, Martin! Help me! Help me!
Town of Salem, Massachusetts, Hubie Dubois, played by Adam Sandler, a kind-hearted but socially awkward and notoriously timid delicatessen employee, endures constant ridicule and elaborate practical jokes from nearly everyone in the community. He has been a perennial nuisance to local authorities like police sergeants Steve Downey and Blake, and even to Father Dave, due to his earnest but often misguided attempts to report minor infractions. They are played by Kevin James, Kenan Thompson, and Michael Chiklis, respectively. Despite the mockery, Hubie takes immense pride in his self-appointed, town-sanctioned role as the official Halloween helper, patrolling the streets each October 31st to ensure the holiday is safe for all, armed with a thermos of hot soup and an unshakable, if naive, sense of civic duty. The day before Halloween, Hubie's routine is disrupted by two events: the arrival of a strange new neighbor, Walter Lambert, who behaves erratically, and a citywide alert about Richie Hartman, a convicted felon and Hubie's childhood acquaintance, who has escaped from a nearby mental institution. They are played by Steve Buscemi and Rob Schneider, respectively. On Halloween Day, while diligently monitoring the neighborhood, Hubie investigates Walter's home after hearing disturbing noises. He reports his suspicions to Sergeant Downey, who, wanting to get rid of him, officially deputizes Hubie as a AUU, Auxiliary Undercover Unit. Hubie wholeheartedly believes this is a genuine police assignment, unaware it is merely a cruel prank designed to keep him occupied and away from the police station. Throughout the day and night, Hubie runs into Violet Valentine, played by Julie Bowen, Sergeant Downey's ex-wife and Hubie's secret lifelong crush. And also harboring a crush on Hubie, Violet has fostered 3 children, Tommy, Danielle, and Cookie. They are played by Noah Schnapp, Sadie Sandler, and Sonny Sandler, respectively. Taking his undercover role seriously, Hubie attends a local Halloween party to monitor for suspicious activities. At the party, Tommy meets the girl he has had a crush on, Megan McNally, played by Paris Borelic. The partygoers, upset with Hubie, trick him into entering a terrifying corn maze to rescue a supposedly lost child. His young co-worker, Mike, played by Karan Barar, follows him in, hoping to scare him. But Mike is suddenly pulled into the cornfield and vanishes. Hubie then investigates a drive-in theater where his old classmates, Lester and Mary Hennessy, played by Tim Meadows and Maya Rudolph respectively, frighten him and falsely report a suspicious vehicle, which turns out to be full of trick-or-treaters being driven by Mr. Hennessy to egg Hubie. Fleeing into the woods, Hubie encounters Walter, who is now convinced he's turning into a werewolf. After a frantic chase, Hubie ends up at a Fun Fair's haunted house, overseen by his friend Chantal Taylor, played by China Ann McClain. Meanwhile, Mr. and Mrs. Hennessy are kidnapped, prompting Sergeant Downey to be alerted to the real danger. Inside the haunted house, Hubie spots a male Siberian husky and becomes convinced it is Walter's final werewolf form. In a comical and grotesque confrontation, Hubie attempts to interrogate the dog, which proceeds to defecate and then eat its own feces before running deeper into the attraction. It is later revealed the dog, named Buster, belongs to Miss Taylor. As Hubie gives chase, he witnesses another local, Pete Landolfa, played by Ray Liotta, get kidnapped right in front of him. Sergeant Downey arrives on the scene and, growing concerned, suggests to Mayor Benson, played by George Wallace, that they cancel Halloween. Just as Hubie insists Walter is the culprit, a call from the station reveals that Walter and Richie have turned themselves in. Walter's real name is Nick Hudson, and Richie had escaped to bring him back to the Werewolf Treatment Center, which is actually the mental institution. With the supposed suspects accounted for, Downey, Benson, and Father Dave wrongly conclude that Hubie himself is the kidnapper, seeking revenge on his lifelong bullies. Fleeing the accusation, Hubie goes into the local radio station where the DJ, Aurora, played by Shaquille O'Neal, reveals that someone calls requesting a song for Hubie even more often than he calls them himself. Everyone assumes it is Violet, but a planted burner phone then rings, revealing its location is inside Hubie's own house. Fearing for his mother's safety, Hubie races home. He arrives to a shocking discovery. His own mother is the kidnapper. She is played by June Squibb. She has taken Pete, Mike, and the Hennessy's, planning to burn them at the stake as revenge for their years of tormenting her son. Hubie heroically rescues the captives just as the police, news media, Nick, and Richie arrive. Even after being saved, the victims are initially ungrateful until Hubie's mother delivers a fierce scolding, shaming them into admitting that they were all jealous of Hubie for various reasons. After her speech, she dramatically disappears using a classic Vanishing Frankenstein magic trick. 1 year later, the town of Salem has been transformed. Hubie is now happily married to Violet, has been elected the new mayor, and is preparing his foster children for Halloween. Having finally earned the genuine respect and admiration of his fellow citizens, Hubie rides his bicycle through the decorated streets, with a now humble Sergeant Downey providing his official escort, ready to oversee a safe and joyful Halloween celebration for everyone. Now let us move on to some trivia about the film Hubie Halloween and learn some things about the behind the scenes, the production, and the actors. This is the fifth Adam Sandler film in which the love interest has the initials VV. The other films are Billy Madison, Veronica Vaughn, Happy Gilmore, Virginia Venet, The Waterboy, Vicky Valancourt, and Little Nicky, Valerie Varon. And honestly, I kind of like that he does do that where, you know, he keeps it consistent at least. I wish it would be like every film, but I mean, obviously you're not going to do it in everything, like Wedding Singer or 50 First Dates or Blended or anything. Man, this guy has like a lot of films. he really does pump them out, huh? Which is crazy because now I'm like, whoa, wait, there's a ton of Adam Sandler films, because there's like the murder mystery one. I think it's just called Murder Mystery, which that was actually pretty good with Jennifer Aniston. But then he also did what was it? Is it Spanglish? That's with Jennifer Aniston. And then he also did, and then I forget, Click. But I wish he kind of would have kept that up in each one of those films. So it would have just been like his like calling card is that he every film, every one of his love interests just has a V and VV as their initials. But I do think it's kind of like a cool thing that when it does pop up, it's notable. Not something that he does. I guess it's not. I guess it is better that it's not all the time. That it's just only when he's feeling it, right? When he's thinking like, oh yeah, we gotta do it for this. Because I guess you could count the sequel to Happy Gilmore, but I guess it's just the same character. But whatever, right? So there are tons of references to like and nods to other horror films. I mean, I guess this isn't really a horror film, but other scary movies, quote unquote scary movies, because this isn't a scary movie either. But whatever. They make a lot of references to a lot of different horror films that have come before, and I kind of want to go through those really quick. Richard Hartman puts on a discarded mask on Halloween night and blends into the crowd of trick-or-treaters, as Michael Myers was able to do in Halloween. And honestly, they do a good job at he picks up the mask and he puts it on, and they show like the shot of him with the children and everything. And I think to me that actually like it fits really well with like those shots that they always show of like of Michael Myers like blending into like the surrounding like that. I like that. I really like, you know, like these like call backs, I guess, or like references to these really good films. Hubie lives on Elm Street, obviously a nod to Nightmare on Elm Street, which is pretty good. I like that. I think it's like nice and subtle when they usually do that. Usually that's probably what they'll do as like a reference to a film. The mayor's garish jacket is supposed to riff on the mayor's jacket in Jaws, and both mayors refuse to cut off festivities despite the potential harm. And that's basically what drives the narrative in Jaws, is that the mayor's so adamant about not stopping the celebration that is known for at this place. This obviously Amity in Jaws, but in this it's Salem, but it gives off that same kind of vibe, and they have to like shut it down eventually. And the final reveal of Hubie's mother seeking revenge on those who made fun of her son is an homage to Jason Voorhees' mother in Friday the 13th. And I've just been on like a Friday the 13th kind of thing recently because I just saw the 6th one last night in theaters, Jason Lives. And I was watching a bunch of like, hey, this is like the lore of the timeline and this and that. Because I was trying to figure out, like, at what point does he become like a zombie? At what point does he become like more unnatural or whatever? And trying to tie things back, but I think that's pretty good. I mean, there's other things throughout that are obviously references to other things, and we're gonna get into that right now. There's references to previous Sandler movies. The having the sheet from the bed have pee stains all over it. Obviously, that's from Waterboy. The kids throwing a dodgeball in school is a reference to Billy Madison. Obviously, the biggest callback to any like previous Sandler movies is that the nurse at the beginning of this, Hal Al, is from Happy Gilmore, and would remake or reappear in Happy Gilmore 2. So does that make it like a trilogy that it's around this nurse it's happy? It goes Happy Gilmore, Hubie Halloween, and then Happy Gilmore 2. Does that make it like a trilogy? The line "Got you, O'Doyle" is from Billy Madison, but also appears in many other Sandler films. I believe I know it's in Click. It comes up. I want to say it's in a bunch of. I feel like it's in some other things. Like you see the O'Doyles. Julie Bowen being the love interest. Obviously, Happy Gilmore But he really likes to do that. He likes to bring people back as his like love interest, like with Drew Barrymore, with Jennifer Aniston, obviously Julie Bowen, and I mean there's some that haven't come back. I wish some would, but I like that. You know, he's like, I want to bring my friends back in for these things. Burt Reynolds poster that he has up. I didn't even notice this. Is a callback to The Longest Yard. I forgot that he was in The Longest Yard, the remake of that. Devil Mask on a Priest. That's a callback to Little Nicky. Lone Ranger costume in line for Haunted House is Airheads. They're the Lone Rangers. I don't know how they're the Lone Rangers when it's just supposed to be a Lone Ranger, but they that's their name in Airheads. And God, it's another. I forgot. I love Airheads. Airheads is such a good film. But yeah, those are all like different things that pop up throughout the film. But let's get into my final thoughts about the film. So Hubie Halloween came out 2020, and I remember it was as the pandemic was in full swing. This was later in the year in 2020 when we were already, shut down, locked down, and it helped me to get through a little bit. I know it's weird that right like this one, but I remember this one premiering, and I was like, Hubie Halloween, what is this? And I didn't even know Adam Sandler. I knew he was making films for Netflix. I know he did The Ridiculous Six. He that's the only one really I remember. But I guess he's done like quite a few. But I think he also did some with like I know he did one with David Spade. The other Missy, I think that one's actually a pretty good one. But I put this one on, because it was like getting ready for that spooky season, and I instantly, I don't know what it was, but I love this movie. I absolutely love it. I don't think I'd be like, oh, it's like the greatest Halloween movie. It's not even like it's not really a great movie, but I think it's like, it really helped me to get, like, to stay like okay and positive when, obviously people weren't going out. People weren't able to kids weren't able to trick or treat really. People weren't able to go out and do anything because, like I said, this was in the middle this is the end of 2020. We didn't really start opening things up again and start going out again and doing things again until what was the middle of 2021, 2022. This is part of that. What I feel there's just a big chunk of time that just got missed for us. If you lived through the pandemic, it's weird because it's it went from 2019 to 2022 really quick. But when you were in it, it was man, we couldn't do anything. We couldn't so much stuff that was just faltering and shutting down and closing up. And I this kind of was a little bright spot in there because it was a newer Halloween movie for me to watch and fall in love with, because it just puts me in that mood of I love to feel during this time, especially because I live in Arizona, and it doesn't look like that here. Right now, for some weird reason, this spooky season has been really cold. The past few years, even then, in 2020, it was still kind of hot. like for the first few, like for most of the month of October. Like last year was unbearably hot for a ridiculous amount of time, like through the whole month. And right now we've gotten like perfect weather that sets you in the mood. Like it's getting us. I think it's going to be a pretty cold winter because the winters here haven't been as cold as they used to be. Like it used to like even for Arizona, it used to get pretty cold here during the winter. But just lately, like with the summers getting so hot, it's just been like it's been staying hot like longer. But anyways, it also makes me wish to go to Salem and like go during like Halloween time. I know it's probably the worst time to go. There's tons of people, but like, hey, I'd love to experience it. I just love the whole aesthetic. They get it. They nail that right with like the whole Halloween feel, and I just love the story. He's ridiculous, over the top. There's there's a lot of mystery that's set up that is kind of like paid off. Okay, honestly, I think it's pretty okay. I like that, like, you know, there's stuff like set up with like there's a pig that gets killed, and you're like, wait, what about that? It's like, oh, like the guy who thought he was a werewolf, he ate the pig, and it's like, oh, okay. Then it's like, oh, then who was doing this? And it's like, oh, that was actually this person. They were actually doing this. So, and then the bigger thing is like that the mom. I think there's some things that are just a little wacky and wonky. I do love to see like some people in there. Some I don't, like Rob Schneider. I don't think he should keep getting work for, you know, being such a MAGA, but whatever. But this is like one of the first times that like Kenan Thompson's been in a Sandler film, and I'm glad. Like I love Kenan. I think he needs to be in more things. Kevin James is okay. I think the ones who come out and like are like nailing it. I think her, like Julie Bowen. I think she does a great job. She like really commits to being this person who's been in love with him this whole time. But there's like little jokes here and there that are just like the funniest thing, and I don't really know what more to say. Like, it's directed fine. I think the story is pretty okay. I know that like you can't really tell that it was gonna be the mom like right away. I feel like it's towards the end where you're really like, oh, okay, yeah, it's got to be someone who knows it or who's been doing this the whole time. I love the reveal with Shaq, though, with like the whole time they play it like that the radio host is like some sexy lady, and then he gets there and it's just Shaq as that's his radio voice, and then we even get like the whole like and then where, you know, he saves everybody and then they start to respect him, you know. Hey, and honestly, I'd love to see like a Hubie Halloween 2, just to like see where you could go with this. I will say I think this is like one of Ray Liotta's last films, so it does kind of suck that it's like, man, that's kind of sucks that you went out on with this one. I'm not saying that, like I said, not saying that this is a terrible movie, but it's like you could have been in a better movie than this as the last one. But I'm glad, you know, he decided to do this before he passed. I mean, it's not like he knew he was going to, but you know what I mean? Like he was like, yeah, I'll be ridiculous, and you know, this guy's bully, even though we're like 50, 60 years old. Man, it's a pretty good one. I think like having also his he always puts his kids in there too, and at first I was a little by it because, you know, like I kind of hate nepo babies, but you know what, for the most part I think they do a pretty good job. What's the little girl, the youngest one, I think her name's Sunny. I think she does a pretty good job in being in this role that she has. Let's see. And honestly, I'd give it like 3.5 stars. Like, it's just like a solid, like, feel good, like, get you in the Halloween mood. Like, this is one that I added now to my like, gotta watch for Halloween movies, just because it just, and even outside of watching it for like during the year, because it just makes you feel like, ooh, Halloween. And I love the Hubie Halloween. I'm ridiculous, I know. I like I said, I love this movie. I know it's not like great. It is a better Adam Sandler film though that we've gotten. I think if you were to be like, where would you rank this amongst them? I'm not going to put it towards the top, but I wouldn't put it towards the bottom either. I feel like there's Jack and Jill and like Grown Ups. Those all would be towards the bottom. I would put this like closer to like Happy Gilmore 2 or what's it called? Blended or something. Like, Blended's not a terrible movie, but it's not a great movie, but it's fine. I like it. I think they do a good job. And this is just like a solid, like I said, solid Halloween film. So check it out if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't, like, what are you doing listening to this? Go check it out. Go watch it. It's pretty good. Did you like Hubie Halloween? Do you like Adam Sandler's movies? Does it get you in the Halloween mood? I know that's how I feel after watching it. We want to thank you all for listening, and if you like what you hear, please subscribe to get every new episode downloaded. Do you have any personal or fictional, paranormal, supernatural, or unexplainable stories? We'd love to read them on the podcast. Please send your stories, recommendations, or anything else to horrorboxpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to show more support, you can follow our socials on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, or check out our YouTube channel, all at Horrorbox Podcast on all sites. Also, you can buy me a coffee at coffee.com/horrorboxpodcast. It really helps out. Until next time, Frankenstein! This is Dom, signing off from the Horrorbox.
Leftover candy I would donate to the homeless shelter.
Is that where you live?
Well, son. Burn him! Oh. I'm sorry, son. I just... Please don't cry.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, no, baby, he overstayed his welcome.
We're out of food, I guess, yeah?